In the United States, we frequently hear stories about other people becoming wealthy or even reaching the status of billionaire. It's no secret that Americans are fascinated by billionaires. You'll see them everywhere, whether it's on the news, on their own television shows, at the movies, or even elected office. We consistently give massive audiences to other self-made billionaires, which are people who, unlike the aristocrats and monarchs of old, did not inherit their wealth. Today, we'll look at how billionaires make their money. Welcome to the Financial Flow. Please like and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up on our latest videos. At the heart of every positive portrayal of a billionaire is the notion that they have earned their success and wealth. The most compelling stories are those of billionaires who have conquered the dream and made a better life for themselves, those around them, and our society through sheer hard work. However, this is simply incorrect for several reasons. Before we get there, let's talk about why the myth of self-made billionaires is so problematic. For starters, only about 600 people in the United States become billionaires each year, accounting for 0.0002% of the population. However, whenever a self-made billionaire tries to dupe you into believing that anyone, including you, can one day be just like them, after all, if they can do it, you certainly can. You already know how they try to sell this lie, and it's always so simple. They tell you that they started from scratch, that they were once just like you, or that they had multiple jobs, or that they hated paying their bills. Instead of complaining, they worked harder, and after weeks of putting in extra hours, they were able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and look where they are right now. Here's where the problems start. If these people can persuade you that they earned their wealth, or that you can too, they can use those two assumptions to persuade you of far more nefarious things. For starters, they can persuade you to act against your best interest and the interest of majority of Americans. The most obvious example is making it appear as if it would benefit everyone if billionaires paid less in taxes. If only the government could get out of the way of these people who have proven to us that they are visionaries and that they alone know how to manage money. To be clear, the ultra-rich have a good way of avoiding taxes already, but that doesn't matter because they'll always try to lower that number even further. The more they do, the less money is spent on things that affect your daily life. The more they keep off the wealth they have no intention of spending in the first place, the worse off we all are. They might even persuade you that one day, when you're in their shoes, you'll want the same thing. After all, when has the government ever helped you? Some people who claim to be billionaires can just bend their stories at their own will. Consider the two most well-known billionaires, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. This decade's favorite billionaire duo enjoys telling a compelling story about their 100 successes. Jeff Bezos likes to tell the story of a guy who valued work ethics when he was working at McDonald's, and whose hard work landed him in Princeton, where he eventually decided to sell books on the internet, which made him a successful billionaire. Up to this day, he has gained internet sensation by just selling off these books on Amazon. Elon Musk, on the other hand, had a very similar story in which he was a hard-working kid who was bullied because he was too nerdy and into science fiction. But despite this, he did not give up and rose above adversity, paying off all of his student loans through sheer entrepreneurship. These stories are, of course, embellished, and while individual elements may be true, the overall picture they're trying to sell you is a lie. It wasn't just hard work that got these people there. Billionaires never get there alone. They arrive using any of three methods. The first is family, wealth, and privilege, followed by labor exploitation, and finally by government assistance. To begin, family, wealth, and privilege explain the success of many of the billionaires at the top of our social hierarchy. We've already seen how important family wealth was to the success of self-made celebrity billionaires like Musk and Bezos. As a result, it should come as no surprise that most billionaires enjoy similar advantages. The racial and gender composition of the billionaire class is not by chance. However, privilege does not explain the rise of every billionaire. Exploitation does. What exactly do we mean by exploitation? This is the second point. Those familiar with Marxist literature will already understand that exploitation is the capitalist expropriation of surplus value from labor But what exactly does this mean? It's straightforward. Society, according to Marx, is divided into two classes. The bourgeoisie is the owner class, and the proletariat is the working class. The owner class, which includes people who own businesses, factories, and farms, provide a bargain to the working class. As you are already aware, nearly all of us accept that offer. So what does the owner class have to say? They claim that for a certain number of hours worked, employees will be paid a certain amount of money. For that deal to be profitable for the owner class, they need to pay workers less money than the value they actually produce. That difference is what Marx refers to as surplus value. The money you make for the company will always be greater than the money the company pays you in the form of a paycheck. Otherwise, it has no money to give to the company's owners, known as stakeholders, who may never have set foot on the premises. That is the Marxist definition of exploitation, and it is used by every capitalist business in the world. The most common examples, whether they want to or not, are those with billionaire companies, figureheads who no longer work for the company, or have only ever held stock, walk away with hundreds of millions of dollars per year. Even with a broader definition of exploitation, we see this type of behavior playing a significant role in billionaires' wealth. Again, how does this kind of behavior lead to self-sufficiency? This brings us to the third point, which is government assistance. The world's billionaires, conservative and libertarian views are the most obviously hypocritical here. Elon Musk is most likely one of the worst offenders. Musk frequently speaks negatively about the government. He frequently dismisses government regulation, goes to great lengths to avoid taxation, and staunchly defends the belief that markets should be free. However, without the government's $4.9 billion in loans and tax breaks, the other billionaires' businesses would be doomed. However, the nature of our current economy is that the government subsidies are granted from public funds throughout the entire production chain, only for profits to be privatized by people who hoard wealth. Another well-known example of this phenomenon is pharmaceutical research, where large amounts of government funds are used to develop life-saving medications, only to be appropriated by the private sector, where profits are concentrated in the hands of a few executives who raise prices and leave countless Americans without access to the healthcare they require. This is not the vision that free market advocates sell us, in which their obscene profits are justified by all the risks that innovation entails. In reality, they benefit from one of our society's largest public money safety nets. Billionaires receive the most government assistance comparable to socialism of anyone, but they fiercely oppose the rest of us enjoying the same benefits so they can pocket more money than entire nations. No billionaire has ever achieved their position through ethical means, and to revere them as icons of self-made success is to excuse their selfish behavior. We can dream about success without them. Without them, we can't achieve greatness. We can't let go of these self-made billionaires. Consider a world without billionaires, and one in which you could actually receive the full value of your work. How much less stressful would your life be, and how much more pleasant and fair would everything be? Hundreds of millions of people's lives would be transformed in an instant. At the end of the day, we produce enough for everyone. Let us stop pretending that having so much of it in the hands of so few people makes sense. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Have a good one.